Hello and welcome to Brain Says Strange Things. I'm Patrick, this is my brother Jordan, and this is the podcast where we talk about horror movies. I don't really know what we're doing here tonight. I think this is going to be our most off-the-cuff episode ever. Our original intention was to do a episode themed around mutants and time travel.
Time-traveling mutants.
Time-traveling mutants.
Yes.
Because there were two films that we were going to watch. Yeah. X-Men Days of Future Past, which is one of the better of the recent kind of Marvel superhero movies.
I thought you were going to say one of the better of the ones that we watched.
Well, we were going to watch X-Men Days of Future Past, as well as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Turtles in Time. For no other reason than they both featured time travel, and they both feature mutants, and we thought it would be kind of funny.
Well, more specifically, they feature time-traveling mutants,
too. Fair enough. And they're both based on comic books.
Yeah, that's something else.
But, quite frankly, we just ran out of time to watch.
What? The good one?
This is terrible. We ran out of time to watch X-Men Days of Future Past. We've seen it before. Mm-hmm. But we really probably should review it before we can really review it on the show here. So we did watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Turtles in Time. So for some reason, I guess we're just going to talk about that movie and see if we can maybe hit a new record low in views for this particular episode. What do you think, Jared?
I don't know. People like the Turtles. There's enough turtle fans.
I don't know why we're talking about the Turtles on our horror movie review podcast, but we did watch the movie just now. Mm-hmm. We had seen it as children.
Yes. It's been a while.
And we're going to tell you what we thought of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Turtles in Time, so buckle up. So this is obviously the third of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies.
Didn't you say it was like 92?
I think it was released in 1992, and it's pretty clearly at the kind of like end of the big kind of push for the Turtles. I mean, they were like the big thing in the late 80s, early 90s. They were like just this hugely popular cultural phenomenon. They've kind of made a comeback now. They've never really gone away. But that kind of late 80s, early 90s, the cartoon was on, and they had the two movies.
And the movies were successful.
Very successful, yeah. And this is like, every franchise has one movie too many, and this is that one movie too many. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Turtles in Time.
You have to say the title every time.
I know.
It's so long.
Turtles in Time. Should I call it Turtles in Time?
Sure. TMNT 3.
TMNT 3.
TIT. No. That doesn't work.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
This is already going off the rails.
All right.
Okay, so, the
it
first...
wasn't good.
No, this is a terrible movie. So Turtles 1 and 2 had come out successful. Of course, they're going to make Turtles 3. And this one is very different than the first couple of movies. Because they're not fighting the Shredder or any of the villains from the cartoon series or the comics. They take the Turtles back in time, as you would expect, to like feudal Japan. They get involved with this whole like samurai conflict. I don't know what was going on in the story.
That's close enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they go kind of back to their roots if anybody knows the comics.
Yeah.
Like they do travel.
They do a lot of time travel stories in the comics.
It sounds more interesting than I guess the other ones do. Or I mean, it's the most interesting kind of concept, I guess, right? But
it kind of sounds like a cool idea, like the Turtles back in feudal Japan wearing samurai armor.
Yeah.
So it's really different than the first two. So actually, like in terms of like concept and story, I thought it was kind of a good idea. But the problem is, it's just.
Well, no, there's not really a story. It's more of concept.
It's just a terrible movie, though.
Yeah.
Just really terrible. Like right at the beginning. it's clear that like the special effects and the turtle makeup.
Well,
and
it's not Jim Henson
animatronics-
this time now.
Not Jim Henson. It's
and
like
boy, does that make a difference.
it's like Joe Hansen or something. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know who it is. But they look like terrible animatronic characters from Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes.
Splinter is just atrocious. Their rat master. I don't think you ever see him full body
The rap master.
walking around. You just see him from like the waist
Yeah, he's
up.
he's a torso.
And they're all like super jerky, you know, and every like move of their mouth there's like a little shudder afterwards. I mean, it's just like
Yes.
it is atrocious.
It's the Chuck E. Cheese band that sings "Happy Birthday" to you.
Yeah,
That's what
it is
looks like.
really, really bad.
And now that's a problem when the main thing. I mean, we discussed that too. Is that you got to make sure that the turtles look good in a turtle movie, you
Right.
know?
Like their first,
if nothing else,
like their first thing when they were first developing the concept and getting together and like, you know, having studios put in bids. I mean, I this is like, it probably wasn't even that involved, but they should have been like, okay, can we make the turtles open and close their mouths and that doesn't look terrible?
without it,
Like they that
violently jerking.
that problem was never solved.
No.
And they just went right on ahead with this horrible movie, boring story that I was, as an adult, was too bored to follow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how boring this must have been for kids.
I thought I saw it in the theaters, maybe.
Oh yeah, I definitely saw it in the theaters. I remember. I'm sure you were there. Yeah. Well, I remember what it was. I can let's go back.
The
in
story
time.
of it. Okay.
No, how I saw
Oh.
it. Who cares about the story of the movie? I'm just gonna tell you.
I don't
Like,
care.
let's talk about my story. Let's talk about my truth.
You found a scepter.
No, I remember because if this was 1992, which I think it was, I would have been 12 at the time. So I was like getting to the age where I was feeling like I was a little too old for the Ninja Turtles, and I remember our dad took our youngest brother and a bunch of neighborhood kids to see this particular turtle movie, and I kind of went along, you know, supposedly to kind of like help dad kind of keep track of these kids.
I think you're gonna say like usher the kids into what turtles are.
No,
I was the turtle
but, like,
gatekeeper.
my excuse as like a 12-year-old who like was feeling like, okay, I'm
I see what you're
too
saying.
old
Yeah,
to
I
go
see.
to this. I'm like going to chaperone these kids,
Right.
But really, I was still kind of into it and wanted to see it.
Right.
So I definitely saw this movie in the theaters. And you must have been there. I can't imagine like I would have gone and our youngest brother would have gone and you wouldn't have gone.
Oh no, I'm sure. I remember seeing it because
Yeah.
a lot of it does come back to like even the lines. But I don't know if it's that or is that I just remember Wayne's World because they're just quoting.
They had a lot of Wayne's World must have been just like fucking huge.
Yeah, I mean when they're quoting Schwing, you know,
Oh,
the turtles,
God.
and they use it in the trailer too.
Yeah, they shouldn't be saying that.
I don't know.
That's not okay.
It's so weird because it's like what a waste of an idea because
Yeah. It could have been
they
a really
could have
like
discovered their roots and
Yeah.
made it more of an interesting story.
well, because the first Turtle movie was like if you had known them just from the cartoon show, like the original like late 80s early
Yeah,
90s
the first
cartoon
one
show,
would be different.
which is what most people would know them from. I mean, that was what really like made the Turtles as a kind of like cultural phenomenon. That first movie kind of took it back to the roots a little bit of the original comics, which were a lot darker, more violent, for like an older audience. And this could have been in that mode, like really kind of like Turtles in samurai times. It could have been really like badass, you know? But it totally wasn't. It was just like, I mean, they were at their goofiest, the characters and
yeah, it almost seems like they tried to make the first two movies. I like them actually, kind of, and they're very different, like the tone of them.
And did you say you revisited them not too long ago?
I did not say that.
Oh,
Yeah, no, yeah, I did. I saw.
and I haven't
saw
seen
the
it
second
since I
one a
was
while
a kid,
ago.
but
This one I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Good God, it looks cheap. It's like a made for home video.
yeah, it's
movie.
really bad.
Like even the way it's shot. If you watch it
Yeah.
on Blu-ray, it's just some things just weren't meant to be seen that way.
Yeah, no, the sets are cheap. The turtles look terrible. It's just not well done on any level. And it just seems, the franchise seems so tired at this point. You know, like I actually wish we would have had time to like revisit all three in sequence to kind of see the decline of it. But there's just this sense of like when the turtles are joking around and doing their ad libbing that it's just like you get the sense that the kids in the audience weren't laughing anymore, and it's just kind of worn out its welcome by this point.
And you kind of get the sense, like I get it in some movies, but this is when it really came through, is where if you feel like the directors and the actors don't really care that much, it's like, why should I care?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't seem like anybody was interested in anything that was going on. Even
No.
like, the one-liners would just end with one of the turtles going, yeah. And then they would cut. Like, that seriously is how it would end. One would make a bad joke, and then the other one would go, yep. And it's like, they didn't even edit it together right. It's like they didn't care.
It was really bad, and you don't. They're just. I don't think I can't think of anything to recommend this movie.
No.
I mean, of course, I can't imagine.
It's not even like
who
it's not even a kids movie, really.
Yeah.
Or it's almost like a 5-year-old movie. You know, it's like.
But it wouldn't hold the
something you
attention.
show-
But it wouldn't hold the attention of 5-year-olds.
No.
You know, they'd be bored with it.
Yeah, I mean, what the goofy sound effects that they have in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost just like go one direction and like stick with it, but they're just kind of like all over the place. There's dramatic scenes where he's saving her from a burning building, or he's saving Yoshi from a burning building, and then at the end when they want to go home, and two of the turtles want to stay in the past.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, for what reason?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even want to be there the whole time, and then all of a sudden, just to create some dramatic thing at the end. And, like, no one's following it by that point, so who cares?
Mm-hmm.
And didn't the turtles look really good?
Yep. So, don't watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Turtles in Time. I hope people feel that... we gave them valuable advice by telling them not to watch the third Ninja Turtle movie.
Not to watch the thing they weren't going to watch anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, I can't think of another single thing to say about Turtles.
Oh, did you like the music?
It's completely forgettable.
Did you like April?
No.
Did you like Casey Jones?
He's a good actor. Elias Koteas. I don't know how that name is pronounced, but he is.
Something like that.
He's a good actor. And it's too bad that, like, yeah, they should have had Casey being like a badass in this movie, but he was relegated to the B plot, babysitting the samurai who came to present day
And it was
New York.
It was even like a
Well,
dual
the
role
Turtles
too,
are
because there's someone like him in the past played by.
But
the
that
same
never
actor,
really went anywhere.
and that didn't do anything.
No, I didn't really. It kind of fell flat. Yeah.
It's like, for God's sakes, we've got Ninja Turtles traveling in time. This is on concept alone. This should be exciting.
Yeah, it's just it's not a good movie.
So, not a fan of the music? Oh, yes.
No, no.
Did you like Baxter Stockman?
Baxter Stockman wasn't in the
I was just
movie.
testing. Okay.
I am a fan of the Turtles, though. Like, it was like my first like thing as a.
Well, now you've seen all of them. There's some that I haven't, or there's one that I haven't seen.
Yeah, you haven't seen.
So
the
this
newest,
is the worst.
You haven't
right?
seen. This is by far the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't seen the newest one by. It's not.
The Michael Bay produced
Michael
one.
Bay. Yeah, the Michael Bay produced one.
Megan Fox one.
Yeah, with Megan Fox as April O'Neil,
Mm-hmm.
which I kind of like.
I have a feeling I would probably enjoy that more. But
I have to admit. I mean, it's one of those movies where like everything that's not good about it, I already knew going in and had made the decision to watch it anyway. Like, I don't like the way that the Turtles look in the design. You know, I don't think it's going to be like...
Is that rewarding, though, as a Turtles fan going into it? Like, knowing what the movies could be, and then knowing what...
But I don't know, like, what
and
do
then
I...
just
as
having
an,
them turn
at
it
this,
into it? I guess, yeah, maybe at this point it is played out.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, like, what do I want out of a Ninja Turtle movie at this point? You know what I mean? And
Everything you
like,
didn't get in this, which was like action and comedy and...
Well, there's good action in the Michael Bay.
Oh, I was talking about the third
movie.
one.
No, the third one is bad. But I am a fan of the Turtles, and I've kind of like come back to the Turtles recently because the animated series that's currently on
Yeah, that's good.
TV is extraordinary. It's absolutely phenomenal. Like, I never hear like older fans talking about the current animated series because like it's really like aimed at like very young children.
Yes. But it can be. Turtles can be aimed at like a young
they
audience.
can and
It
they
would
should
work.
be, but it's like so well done. This current like animated version, it's kind of like the standard to which I hold all other like incarnations of the Turtles up to. It's so cool. They incorporate elements from the comics and from the movies and from the old cartoon show, but like do like the coolest possible versions of all those storylines and characters.
But I mean, I haven't seen a lot of it, but they're also like they maintain the same tone too, right?
Mhm.
That's for the most part. It recognizes that it's a cartoon.
Yes.
Which is what they should.
Yeah, it's very
and it
fun.
kind of uses that to the full
It's
extent.
very fun. It's very funny, but like when they want to be badass, they're badass, and the action sequences are excellent. So it's really good.
Well, with this one, the Turtles in Time movie, when they're going into action scenes and then the faces aren't moving.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's clear that like they had two kind of models of turtle suits. They had the action suits, which didn't have any facial movement, and then they had the facial suits, which had the horrible animatronic facial movements.
For close-ups, yeah.
For close-ups.
Like the googly eyes.
So when they do action sequences, they would just dub over the voices,
Yes.
being like, "Oh, well, you almost got me there, dude." But you could see that the mouths weren't moving. It's probably like that in all the turtle movies, though.
No, I'm sure there's parts like that, but this is just like way too obvious.
Yeah,
like I
it's
said
just
before,
really
it's like
glaring.
you gotta care about these stupid costumes.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can see the neck attached to the
Oh,
head,
they
there,
just look god awful. I mean, just god awful.
it
Yeah.
really shows you like what a difference Jim Henson makes.
Right? Who did the suits for the first?
The
movie.
original ones. Well, he did it for the first two, yeah.
Yeah, but he was not involved in this one. So yeah, really, turtles work best animated. I think just like animation.
Yes, it is a little odd seeing. I mean, it's always a person in a suit,
Yeah,
and you know that, you can tell that,
yeah,
and I'm not okay with that.
yeah.
I
Well, I wish.
don't want to see someone in a foam rubber suit
Yeah.
bonking somebody on the head with an actual bonk sound
Yeah.
effect. You know?
Well, and the first one, and the new one is interesting too. The new Michael Bay one, because it's of course like computer generated, but they use motion capture, right? So they have like characters like
they actually had actors, yeah.
Yeah, playing the turtles, and it's actually like super sophisticated, like facial motion capture. Like every little nuance of like the lips and the eyes and the face are like replicated in the turtles in this new movie. You know, I would say probably too much. You know, it's like they almost get like too close to human. It's like really off-putting in this new movie.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, you know what I mean? It's an interesting approach, but
Well,
ultimately,
it's always just like, how realistic do we make
well,
this?
right.
Like,
It's
how
like,
close-
and also like, is more realistic better? Like, is it better the more real it looks? Because I don't think you really can go any further than like they went in like the first one with the Jim Henson like characters like that. It's like clearly not real. Like I'm not looking like an actual like mutated turtle being. You know what I mean? But it's like,
But it's slightly
it can
cartoony.
interact in a real world setting. You know what I mean? Whereas like Turtles 3, which we watched, it's like they look fake. And like the Michael Bay turtles, it's like it's this weird like uncanny valley effect where it's so close to human but not human. It's like it's off-putting somehow. You know what I mean? You want to like just kind of hit this like middle.
Well, that's what they always say
ground.
about good special effects is like you want, like, the most achievement you can get is that you don't notice that it's there.
Yeah.
Like if it calls attention to itself, then it's bad.
Right.
So you want things to like kind of, you want it to be seamless no matter what, even if you're blending like realistic things with unrealistic things. You want the blend to be like seamless, and maybe the way to do that is with the suits, because it is kind of distracting watching the animated characters interact with the real characters.
Yeah, at this point, I think they should just do like if they're
Cartoon.
gonna do more turtle movies, they should just do like fully animated.
That's usually what's so successful about them, I think, because the last animated one was pretty.
Yeah, they did do a full animated movie.
Like TMNT. Or
Yeah, like Turtles 3 kind of killed the franchise,
Mm-hmm.
so it was gone for years. And then they did TMNT in like 2007 or something like that.
Yep.
And that was good. It was just like a
Yeah, it was
good,
good.
good animation and stuff. And then eventually they did the cartoon on Nickelodeon, which is not not related to the movie, but it's a similar kind of thing. And yeah, I think it's just like it's meant. I mean, that's always when they've been most successful, like as a cartoon.
Yeah,
like,
that is kind of the way they seem to work best.
Yeah, like not. I mean, I think there's definitely this thing in culture where like the ultimate expression of everything is a live action feature film. Like that's what everything has to like turn into, whether it's like, you know, a video game or a comic book or a book or whatever, or a board game or whatever it is. Like it has to get a movie deal and become like a live action feature film.
Yes.
And it's just clearly not the best vehicle for everything. I mean, that sounds obvious, but
Yes.
you know, it just seems to be like,
But there's a reason why there's Battleship, the movie.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Battleship, the movie, or like I remember like when Angry Birds first started hitting big. Like I kept hearing people talk about
Just wait for it, yeah.
this Angry Birds movie they were gonna do, and just like it. Yeah, or like the Flintstones movie or something. You know what I mean? Like, is this really like improving? Like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's this weird thing.
It is a little bit of that, like, should this have even been done in the first place?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why did we even bother going ahead with this? But
Yeah.
that's
Because once something becomes successful, it starts making like money, and you're like, well, we can't say that's enough money. Like, we gotta keep it going. Right?
It's weird to think, like, karate and teenage turtles is a hard concept to mess up.
Yeah, it is.
But it
It's
just
kind of
kinda-
like the perfect concept.
It kind of shows, like, how you can screw it up, I think, with all these different versions of the turtles.
Yep.
Like, I think it doesn't work more often than it does, unfortunately.
Yeah, but part of the thing I like about the Turtles is that it's such a resilient franchise. Like, you can have
It can
so
kinda
many.
be whatever it wants.
Yeah, and you can have so many different like incarnations of it, and like,
Mhm.
like Turtles more than anything has been very like accepting of all the different versions, and they'll like take things from
Right.
like, you know what I mean. It's not like there are some fans, I think, because it was the comic book first, right? And I think there are some fans of those original comics who are like, okay, that's what the Turtles are, and that's the real Turtles, and everything else is like, the further you get from that, the worse it is. But for the most part, fans of the Turtles are pretty accepting of like alternate takes. Like a really obvious example is the multicolored masks that they came up with for the late 80s, early 90s cartoon. Like in the comic books, they all just have red masks.
Oh, yeah, so you can tell the difference. But
Yeah,
kinda
and then
distinguish
of
themselves a
course,
little bit.
you know, when they make this cartoon for kids, like, well, let's give them different colored masks, and that has pretty much been accepted, you know, in all following incarnations of the Turtles, and it's always been like that. Like they'll take stuff from the comics or a character from the video game, and it just all gets kind of.
Well, then you say, like, even in this one, there's that scepter that they travel
Yeah,
around
the scepter
comic?
is from the
Man,
comic
that's kinda-
books.
Kind of angering, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, why not use all that stuff? Why even have that in there?
Mm-hmm.
Why have anything? Why do we watch this?
I don't know. I don't know. I watched this from when we did this podcast about it.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah, that's about all I have to say. Okay. I don't know if that really worked as an episode or not.
But X-Men is good.
Yeah, we should have watched X-Men Days of Future Past because that's a good movie.
Maybe we will do that one.
We'll watch that sometime. All right.
Let's tape over this.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, we're going to end the episode. And we hope you liked it. And we will be back with a better episode soon. And we'll probably watch a horror movie
Yes.
or two
Yes.
and talk about it. So we do appreciate you watching. I feel like this is kind of like almost disrespectful to the people who watch us
No, don't say
to
that.
put this episode up. But maybe you got something out of it. This is a lot more like the kind of casual
At least we're telling
conversations.
you, like, what not to see of the Turtle
I
movies.
think people knew not to see this.
If someone came up to you holding all the Ninja Turtle movies in their hands and said, here, you must watch all but one, I mean, this is definitely going to help you out in that situation.
Yes. If that situation comes up, you're welcome.
Yep.
Um,
It's bound to happen.
yeah, okay. I'm going to end the episode now. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye-bye.